The judge has ruled on the protective order. Who won? Well, I think it's a bit more complicated than that.
Of breaking news in the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively court case, a judge has ruled on the protective order. This is a big deal. I'm going to read the 9
posts an order on this issue of the protective order. And if you could just set up for us, Lively had some arguments about whether they wanted the protective order or not, and Baldoni had some arguments about whether he wanted the protective order.
Order or not is uncommon in a world when celebrity feuds frequently take place in front of cameras and on social media. When it comes to these two, however, a legal dispute between the stars reaches the level of Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. Nothing is ever as it seems with Hollywood celebrities, and the courts have become the newest venue for their drama as the conflict developed. Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin were confronted with a complicated web of claims, private records, and public scrutiny that put their reputations at jeopardy when a judge ultimately rendered a historic decision in the case. Fans and Hollywood alike were left in shock over the ramifications.
With us, co-star Justin Baldoni sexually harassed her, causing her severe emotional distress.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
The origins of the dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin date back to the early phases of a promising film cooperation, initially appearing to be almost picture perfect. Under the name of Wayfarer, 2 Hollywood celebrities collaborate on a groundbreaking film. Entertainment. The project concluded with a bold and original film that was said to provide a blend of passionate cinematic spectacle and poignant storytelling. Blake Lively lately showcased her range with flicks like The Shallows and Basic Favor were ideal for the starring role, but things began to fall apart during Fundamentally, the disagreement appeared to be based on creative disagreements about how the movie would be made. Lively, who is renowned for her meticulous attention to detail and dedication to the role she plays, allegedly has problems with the way her character was portrayed, and some parts of the script. There were whispers that Lively desired to give her position more nuance, although Wayfarer Entertainment wasn't entirely in favor of these adjustments.
And there's a lot that's happened in 72 days.
Yeah, there has. I know we were just talking about that. There's been like a lightning fast.
Things swiftly began to get out of hand, and from there, the situation became so severe enough that Lively sued Baldoni and his business, alleging that they had religion talks while simultaneously insisting on the disclosure of private records that she felt were essential to being aware of the film's trajectory and how her character is handled.
After the Gossip Girl alum and husband Ryan Reynolds applied for a protective order earlier this month to keep sensitive information from circulating to the public, a judge for the Southern District of New York has approved a modified version of the order.
As events progressed, it became evident that this was more than just a movie project. Blake Lively, who has always been guarded of her personal life, found herself in a personal conflict. A scenario where she had to protect her family's safety and defend her limits, which only served to. The Flame's child has a mental health condition, or Lively, whose personal life involves. Ryan Reynolds, the husband of the couple, has always been quite protective of their small children and was particularly worried about what sort of private information might be revealed during the court proceedings. The stakes weren't high. They were about protecting their family's privacy, not just about a movie.
Protective order. And they both wanted to be able to mark documents as confidential, which means that they would be shared with the attorney.
Conversely, Justin Baldwin had his own worries as a well-known person. Struggled to establish a solid reputation in Hollywood, particularly as one of the co-founders of WFAR Entertainment. Had an obligation to his business and his co-workers that was just as important as protecting the privacy of superstars like Lively. At stake, Baldoni believed that the truth had to be revealed, particularly the causes of their. There were rumors that Baldwin's team wished to disclose specific elements of Lively's business connection. Actions throughout the pre-production phase of the movie that they believed could lead to her being questioned by the public. Dedication to the cause to them, this court case was about exposing the truth, particularly concerning any hidden scenes of stress.
Attorney Brian Friedman says he's thankful the judge denied parts of the, quote, overboard protective order. Telling E! News in a statement, "We are fully in agreement with the court's decision to provide a narrow scope of protections to categories such as private mental health."
As the parties readied themselves for the legal battle, the media had already. The audience was fascinated by the idea of two prominent stars facing off in such a high-stakes match and started to take sides. Legal fight. The media gorged itself on every fresh leak, every rumor, Each time a new document was released, Lively and Baldoni, in typical Hollywood fashion, refused to. The media game's pawns.
You already leaked these trade secrets of the PR people in the New York Times, which you didn't have any
Inside a
rights to.
Hollywood smear machine.
Following days of heated legal proceedings, the court ultimately issued its decision about Blake Lively's request for a protective order, a ruling that both parties had eagerly awaited, appeared to like a victory for Team Lively, but the truth is far more complicated and nuanced, as is the case with most court rulings.
I think on the Lively side, I think that they probably feel like they didn't win. If I was on the Lively side, I'm like, well, we got a few things, but it isn't really what we wanted. How would you feel on both sides?
The judge gave Lively's request to use the legal classification, attorney's eyes only, to categorize some sensitive papers. Designed to prevent the public release of extremely sensitive material, this decision enables Lively's legal team to protect information that is thought to be too delicate for general public consumption, such as private health records and information about Lively's buddies who are celebrities.
To unilaterally designate documents as attorney's eyes only. And that's a higher designation than confidential, because what it means is only the attorneys could see those documents, not the parties. And her attorneys wanted to be able to designate documents as attorney's eyes only unilaterally, so they could decide.
Initially, at first view, this protective order seemed like a simple win for Lively because it offers some privacy. Protection that would eventually help her case. But even though the ruling protects some private documents, it also prepares the ground for fresh legal battles, and Team Baldoni isn't giving up. Without a struggle,
that they wanted. I do think Baldoni got the better of this, but I still think Blake Lively's team wanted the ability to protect some information.
Although the decision appeared to be in Lively's favor, it came with substantial restrictions. The judge clarified that not all documents could be protected just by the attorney's eyes. Consequently, the court established strict guidelines for document classification for Lively's team must demonstrate that revealing any information that should be kept confidential would result in a serious financial or privacy harm to a business, which implies that the onus of proof is now directly on Team Lively to illustrate why these delicate documents ought to be kept private.
Blake Lively, her team wanted to have a rubber stamp that said attorney's eyes only, and they wanted to use it in their discretion on any document they wanted.
Yeah.
And that presumably would make it an attorney's eyes only designation, unless Baldoni's lawyers went to the federal court and said, hey, we don't think this AEO designation is appropriate.
This decision is by no means a clear-cut win. Lively's legal team essentially has to negotiate a minefield of legal disputes and demonstrate that each document deserves the lawyer's attention on a case-by-case basis. Only designation is a difficult assignment because Lively's team will now thoroughly examine every piece of evidence. Faces the difficulty of defending the need for some records to be kept secret and making sure they adhere to the high legal criteria established by the judge.
Instituting. And of course you have A, trade secrets, B, security measures, C, medical information, but look at D, highly personal and intimate information about.
From the standpoint of Baldwin's law team, this decision provides an opportunity instead of mindlessly acknowledging Lively's privacy concerns. The chance to oppose every move to seal records, and they can fight Lively attorneys at every stage. Examining the justification for each request to conceal information might result in a drawn-out and controversial legal battle. Procedure that was full of public conjecture and further courtroom drama.
I mean, at the end of the day here, if we're looking at Baldoni's camp and Lively's camp, they're back, they're huddled, they're going over this protective order.
This decision gives Baldoni the chance to advance his case in ways he was unable to do before. Now that more documents are available for public review, his team can demand that Lively's camp defend. Every assertion they make about which information should be kept private is, in many respects, a war. The debate over what can and cannot be sealed is still in its early stages, and the lawyer's eyes only classification is only temporary. Barrier one that can be removed with repeated challenges and legal wrangling.
If you say everything is attorney's eyes only, then it's ridiculous, right? So I guess that
this implies that Baldwin's group is now well-positioned to exert pressure, compelling Lively to disclose details she might have wanted to conceal, such as if Lively's group is unable to prove that certain documents that genuinely satisfy the requirements for a serious injury. Baldwin's team might make the case for their public publication. Method of challenging every document could result in an extended court battle that keeps the case in the public eye for considerably longer than Lively may have anticipated, and in the court of public opinion, even the slightest disclosures of information can stoke the flames, generating fresh news stories and possibly further harming Lively's reputation.
Protecting your family, but will you use that protection to try to hide some of the truth from coming out? In the event the fact witness refuses...
The lawyer's eyes only decision in this case is a double-edged sword. Whilst it provides Lively with some protection, it also allows Baldwin's men to contest those safeguards at every opportunity, as each one may expose the potential for lengthy legal disputes. Team Lively might not be able to keep things under wraps for very long if there are further specifics regarding the case. Baldwin's team will probably take advantage of this chance to demand the publication of materials that could aid in changing public opinion that supports him.
Will only be utilized for confidential discovery material of such a highly confidential and personal, sensitive, or proprietary nature that the revelation of such is highly likely to cause a significant competitive, business, commercial, financial, or privacy injury to the producing party.
The decision affects the case's public perception in addition to the courtroom spectacle. In court cases this size, the fight for privacy is frequently a high-stakes game, since every new piece of information that becomes public knowledge can influence how the public views the case. If papers that were intended to remain confidential are disclosed in court, it may result in a media friend, with the public excitedly anticipating every new development to support the continuous show.
Okay, because you have the trial and then you have the pre-trial, right? And in the pre-trial, that's where you share your discovery. Both sides have to know what each side has so that they can argue for or against that. And here the judge is saying that the court is unlikely to seal or afford confidential treatment.
For Lively, the decision is a tenuous triumph. Although the court has given her some privacy protection, she must now demonstrate that the sealed. If her legal team is unable to prove that the documents truly merit that protection, there is a significant danger of harmful information leaking into the public realm and possibly changing public perception against
of the parties. That discovery in this case will involve confidential documents or information, the public disclosure of which will cause harm to the producing person and or third party to whom a duty of confidentiality is owed.
The decision gives Baldoni more opportunities to contest the narrative, which he has consistently highlighted as something he wants to openness, and this ruling enables him to advocate for increased disclosure in light of the potential for future legal challenges. Implies that Lively's secrets may be revealed in the most visible manner imaginable, with each new document that is made public having the potential to destroying Lively's meticulously constructed image, which would further damage her reputation, something that Baldwin's staff is probably trying to profit from.
The way I read this, I think that Baldoni won more than he lost. I think that the judge cut back Lively's arguments substantially, but he did give them something on the attorney's eyes only.
The conflict around the protection order is only one stage of a far more extensive legal battle that doesn't appear to be abating, with the possibility of additional legal challenges now open and the potential for more documents to be made public. It is certain that this case will continue to captivate the public's attention. The longer the matter goes on, the more chances there are for both parties to win court cases or reveal negative information about Lively. Thus, she needs to be vigilant about her legal situation, steadfastly protecting her private while making sure her team effectively demonstrates the necessity of confidentiality.
That's what we use protective orders for. Medical records. Okay, let's play it safe. We'll protect those. The security measures, that's kind of a giveaway because he says, well, Wayfair didn't really object.
For Baldoni, the decision signifies a tactical edge that can put Lively's group in a precarious situation where they must continuously battle to keep things under wraps because the conflict is still ongoing and the tension. The conflict between privacy, openness, and public opinion will persist in the courtroom, the media, and the public's thoughts. As every new twist and turn appears, it gets more evident that both sides are facing a protracted, difficult court battle that will have a lasting impact on both of them, their professional lives.
Think that she shouldn't receive any preferential treatment because she's famous.
When Lively insists on this order, it raises questions about what she's trying to. According to the Remain Quiet report, she is afraid of humiliating revelations about her powerful circle of famous friends of Lively and Reynolds have been the target of criticism in recent months. Any material that has been leaked potentially further harm their well-maintained public image.
In order to protect the celebrities. Kim, back me up. When I was listening to that hearing, I know you did too, there were two things I noted.
More significantly, an Axios whispers. A member of Lively's legal team has stoked rumors that this former intelligence officer has been employing political strategies to influence public opinion in Lively's favor, raising questions about the extent to which she is prepared to go to win this lawsuit.
Information and belief that the ex-CIA agent working for Blake Lively is using tactics to divide and conquer as new articles come out, sort of weaponizing the political ideology.
As Blake Lively and Justin Baldwini's conflict heats up, the case has taken a concerning turn, one that has given the public drama a deeper and more unnerving dimension that goes beyond the reputation. Defense, the legal battle has also surfaced allegations of sexual harassment, a grave claim that has shocked the parties concerned as well as the public's opinion of Baldoni. This change has increased serious issues for the entertainment business as a whole, as well as for Lively and Baldoni, since the legal. As the process progresses, it is unclear how these charges will influence its direction of the case.
Billing, but I guess both sides have a lot of that Mint Mobile money, right? All right, there's your update.
In order to safeguard his reputation, Baldwin's camp has openly advocated for transparency. Among these, there is an increasing undertone of more grave charges that could undermine his case. There have been allegations of sexual harassment that might significantly change the case's storyline. The legal team for Lively has been outspoken in their opinion that Baldwin's prior behavior includes undocumented acts that could jeopardize his reputation, particularly if the case's sealed materials are finally released to the public. Despite the Lively's lawyers have alluded to the potential of sexual harassment claims that have not been fully revealed. These allegations have led to the discovery of explosive evidence hidden in the sealed files that could further accuse Baldoni. Many to hypothesize that the sealed material would include recordings or conversations that could reveal the alleged wrongdoing of Baldwin. The mere mentioning of this possible proof has stoked a lot of conjecture in the media. The problem of sealed evidence has emerged as a crucial focal point, putting the public on edge as they anticipate more developments. Moment in the lawsuit where Lively's team is arguing with the other legal team over which records should be kept confidential. For some material to remain confidential, claiming that making such information public could undermine their case and client's reputation, in addition to the sealed material, which purportedly consists of private recordings and communications. Some accounts claim that it was essential to Lively's charges. This information might provide a more complex understanding of the two stars' interactions during the shoot of their most recent project supporting Lively's team's charges of harassment. These hidden records might present a different image of Baldoni, one that could make it more difficult for him to uphold the story he has been pushing in the press, but the court's rulings regarding whether to reveal or it is not that simple to secure these papers. Legal commentators have contended that maintaining such private to guarantee a fair trial, information must be sealed, but this also implies that the public is kept in the dark regarding the contents of those sealed files, which makes space for additional conjecture, mistrust, and sensationalism.
whatever they need to. If at any time prior to the trial of this action a producing person realizes that some portion of discovery material that she, he, or it had previously produced without limitation should be designated as confidential or attorney's eyes only.
The threat posed by the sealed evidence to Baldwin. His legal team is well aware that without a complete protective order, a lot of things will not be possible. Evidence may eventually come to light, which might jeopardize the defense approach they've been promoting for Baldwin. Attorneys have argued that any effort to keep documents secret is an attempt to influence public opinion and keep the truth from being revealed. The dispute over these records is not only a legal one, it is also about. At the core of this conflict is managing the narrative and making sure that no harmful information is made public. Is the issue of Baldoni's transparency, making sure that records are kept available to the public regardless of how well they portray him. He wants the world to see the truth from his point of view, therefore defending his name requires either a good or a bad one. His defense team may face new difficulties in determining how much of the truth is revealed if the sealed evidence is made public. Will be revealed, and more crucially, how will the public react to that reality as Baldwin's campaign for public? Evidence disclosure may appear to be a sincere effort to promote transparency, but it's crucial to realize that this may additionally be a deliberate choice to guarantee that any potentially false stories are promptly refuted. His legal team has purposefully made a few documents available to the public in an effort to manage the information, but the very given the circumstances of the case and the claims of sexual harassment, each fresh leak could turn into something much more explosive.
You should get that document because it was disclosed to somebody.
Baldwini's capacity to protect his just as crucial as winning the case in court is one's reputation in the court of public opinion. Because his brand is closely linked to his career achievement, the idea of public openness becomes a whole different connotation when allegations of sexual harassment is occurring, and if additional unfavorable information surfaces, Baldoni may find it difficult to save both his career and his reputation.
Parties highly personal and intimate information about parties only other than the information directly relevant to the truth or false.
Although there is increasing push for transparency, it is uncertain if the sealed evidence will ever be fully revealed, but a Loans Group contends that making all pertinent information available is. There is still a chance that the court may restrict what can be made public, which is the only way to guarantee justice. Courts will occasionally only divulge evidence if it can be demonstrated to be pertinent to the case, which includes making certain that personal information irrelevant to the accusations is kept private.
Likely that certain things will remain sealed. So it's it's on page 6.
In the absence of a protection order, certain evidence could, perhaps leaked, but it's unclear if it will include enough information to materially impact Baldwin's case. An already high-stakes legal drama is made more tense by the uncertainty of what might be revealed, even while some of the sealed evidence might turn out to be harmless, there's always a chance that it will contain information that has the potential to completely alter the game, but Baldwin's team is not only interested in transparency for the sake of transparency, they maintain that this is necessary to support Baldwin's honor and protecting his reputation in a field where a single smear can ruin a Baldoni's career. The goal of his legal counsel's lawsuit is to correct the record, not merely to battle to cleanse his name. Argued that Lively's depiction of the circumstances has been misrepresented and that the only method to recover his Baldoni sees his activities as part of his narrative by letting the public see everything for themselves. A question of honesty and responsibility.